Hey, what's going on? All right, today I want to talk about what it feels like for me to have found my twin flame from what I understand and what I feel. So, this is an interesting topic to me because I had never thought about this or learned about this, and it's just something I personally experienced um, during my journey. And I could totally be wrong. It could totally be misguided and uh, delusional, but it's what feels right to me. And I'm also learning to be more in touch with how I feel and not just what I can think and deduce logically, because intuition can be a powerful thing. And so there's basically these different types of spiritual definitions of relationships, let's say. And obviously, well, not obviously, but I believe that our relationships with others is a reflection of our relationships with ourselves. So obviously, primarily, we need to work on our relationship with ourselves, and as we heal that and improve that, then our relationships with others will also improve. Um, and we can use our relationship with others as feedback and a barometer for how we are doing with ourselves. So the first one is known as a karmic relationship, and basically this is meant to reveal wounds um, from maybe past lifetimes so that you can have an opportunity to recognize it and overcome and break these cycles so you can continue to evolve. And oftentimes these karmic relationships will be very magnetic, they will be very strong, especially in the bottom three chakras. So maybe you have an intense physical or sexual attraction. It can be very passionate, but you maybe not quite aligned in the top part. So maybe your goals or your vision, or even like your spiritual understanding, maybe your ability to communicate is off, because you have such a different perspective of things, but you might be like very attracted, um, in terms of a physical way. And it's important that, and you might also really trigger each other in different ways. And the point of this relationship is to, again, recognize and break those patterns. Um, Next, we have soulmates, and soulmates is this definition is different from what I had thought about soulmates before. So, what I thought was a soulmate was like, your partner that is meant for you, or is like the person who's most meant for you, and you guys are just like happily ever after, together, and your love is, super strong and whatnot. And so what I realized is that you can have more than one soulmate. In fact, you can have many soulmates, and they're not just partners. They can be friends and et cetera, et cetera. It's just like two separate souls that maybe had been together and been through things before in past lives. And they're comforting. They're like best friend type energy. Like you guys just get along. Everything flows easily and naturally, and you're very supportive and complimentary of each other. And it's a beautiful feeling to have to be with someone or be with friends or a partner who makes life feel very easy and flowy and natural. And then lastly, you have the twin flame relationship, which is more of the divine union. This is from what I understand, and it's like mirrors. That's the best way I can feel it and describe it with words. It's like it's your other half, and um, these people, this individual, will often share very similar values and vision, life paths. Um, you can definitely also trigger each other's wounds, but from what I've experienced, it's like reversed. because it's inverted because it's your other half. And if you think about the infinity or figure eight, it's like it feeds onto each other. And so in order to create that inversion, like your partner has equal but opposite wounds, and so you feed into each other, and which makes it difficult to break that that pattern as well. But the whole point, as well as karmic relationships, is to grow and uh, feed off each other to hopefully evolve. There's often a series of unions and separations because you come together. Maybe you're for however long, it doesn't quite work out. There's still so much growth and healing to do, so you separate, you come back together, etc., etc. And so this is what I personally feel like I've experienced. I met my twin flame, let's call her, back in Thailand during the pandemic, and even before I knew what about this, like intellectually, it felt like she was my mirror. That she was someone who really rivaled me in different ways. We didn't necessarily come from the same country or have the same background, but we had very similar goals and aspirations and values. Our wounds definitely fed off of each other. So, for example, her abandonment wound made her dependent, which her dependency made me feel rejected, or she didn't make me, but I felt rejection as a result of her dependency, which caused me to withdraw, and then my withdrawing fed into her abandonment, and it just became this cycle, right? Which made it very difficult to overcome. And through the process, we've both grown so much, and now life would have it that we are physically separated. Our relationship status is like separate as well, but we still maintain a connection, and I believe a spiritual connection that transcends this three-dimensional reality. So it's almost that we don't even. It's almost like the love that I have for my mom. Not that she's like my mom, but like it's the connection is there, so that I don't doubt my place in her life, and without even needing to necessarily see her or like be with her or speak to her all the time. It's just like I know that she's there. She can be with other people and whatever, doing her own thing, and likewise for me. It's not tied to like physical or mental or even emotional like perceptions of romance that people or that I formerly was familiar with, and it just feels like I don't know how our relationship will pan out in this reality or in this in this world, but from what I would believe is a spiritual part, like we are inseparable. Kind of again like the relationship, the connection that I would share with someone like my mom, where it's her to me is pretty much as unconditional as it gets, right? Um, and I'm lucky to be in that position. But like I don't need to see my mom every day. I don't need to talk to her every day, catch up with her once every couple of weeks. And I haven't seen her in 2 or 3 years. It will be nice to go back and see her this winter and all that. But like at no point do I doubt the importance that I have in my mother's life. Maybe she doubts it more towards me, but as her son, I don't doubt my place, and so she doesn't need. I don't need to like chat with her every day to know my place. So I guess I'm pretty securely attached. So that's it. That's my experience with that. Again, I could be wrong. It's just how I feel, and it is what it is. So I hope you learned something. Let me know what you think about all this. If it's complete BS, if I'm crazy, whatever it is, maybe I am.